Hello, and welcome back to the Coop de Villa channel. I'm Scott Cooper, and we are back. No Villa games this week with the international break, so we are doing a report card on Dean Smith. It's his 3-year anniversary as Aston Villa manager, and it's been a good 3 years. But we're going to talk about some of the areas where we think he's done well, somewhere he might do better, and that's all coming up after this. Okay, so yes, it was 3 years ago yesterday that Dean Smith was made manager of Aston Villa after the sacking of Steve Bruce. And I've got Noah here to talk about as well. How you going tonight, Noah, from Melbourne, Victoria?
Going all right. Obviously, yeah, 3 years since the cabbage incident as well. So the famous cabbage.
That's right. The famous missed penalty from Glenn Whelan that was the final nail in the coffin. What a great penalty miss that was. Probably the best in our history. And isn't it ironic that 3 years on, Bruce might get sacked again?
I got a feel for him.
Yeah, a little bit, but yeah, we all know he wasn't very good in him, and Dean Smith was definitely a step up. So yeah, let's talk a bit about Dean Smith's journey. So the first year he came in, and what an impact it was, Noah.
Amazing impact. I think he won his first game against Swansea, I think it was, with a Tammy Abraham header. So really got off the the best possible start. Then we dipped in form a little bit, and that amazing 10-game run cannot be not spoken about in this episode of what a run. Couldn't believe it.
Yep. If that was, if we had a sort of power rankings of his biggest achievements, I think that 10-game winning streak has got to be up there, just because we were desperate at that point. We were, 13th, I think it was, in the championship. The playoffs looked a million miles away. After a good start, he sort of had a few bad results, and we were playing some pretty awful football. And then, of course, Jack Grealish came back from injury, was given the armband, and it all sort of turned around. What were some of your best memories from that run?
Well, the one that stands out for me is obviously the Jack Grealish goal against Derby and Birmingham. Yes. And then that massive comeback, not massive, but the comeback from behind victory with 10 men against Rotherham.
Yeah.
That's one that stands out. And against Sheffield Wednesday as well. They're probably the top highlights I have from that one. I think we were 2-1 down in that game, and then Jed Steer saved a penalty maybe, and then we won 3. Yeah, so yeah, I'll probably say they stand out for me.
Yeah, they were great victories, especially the Rotherham one. Being down to 10 men, and being Rotherham, a team that we should beat, obviously, and that would have been a really disappointing result, and we were still in that sort of in the midst of that run where we had to keep winning, and it was a huge result. I mean, the Birmingham one is iconic. Grealish getting attacked by the fan and getting up and scoring the winner. It just felt like when that started to happen that something was building. And yeah, we had some really good results in there, and ended up getting promoted, which via the playoffs, beating Derby in the playoff final, which is, I guess, another one of his massive achievements, to go up against Frank Lampard, who everyone was lauding as the new greatest English manager at the time.
They had such a good team, though, didn't they? I mean, you got to think Mason Mount, Samori, Wilson. They had such a good team, and look, we obviously had a very good team as well, and it just clicked at the right time for us that back into the season. And we got the chocolates on the day, and look what's happened to Derby now. That could be us. That could easily be us. So.
It could have been. It really could have been. With all the incidents we had with Tony Zhao and the whole, Chinese group that, were our owners and couldn't pay the players and all this sort of stuff. We were getting, they couldn't get the money out of China at one stage, and it was looking like desperate. And then, then we get the new owners, we get Dean Smith, and yeah, things have just gone up and up since then. So we get promoted, and then the first year in the Premier League, we're all very excited, but it's a tough season. We go through some sort of ups and downs in that season as well. We play some really good stuff at times. We have some good games, but we really play some terrible stuff at times as well. And if it wasn't for COVID, we
Yeah.
we probably would have got relegated.
Yeah, I was gonna touch on COVID a little bit because you look at that run, which I was lucky enough to be there for some of those games leading up
Yeah,
to COVID, but the back end of it when we lost to like Bournemouth and Southampton and we gave away points against Tottenham, we should have got some. And look, the COVID break came probably at the perfect time for us, sadly. I mean, we got thumped by Leicester as well.
yeah,
We looked just gone. We looked relegated and there were still months left in the season.
mm,
But that, as I said, that COVID break, defensively, we came back, Project Restart, and we just looked a completely different team. I think the stats proved that as well. I think we were at least in the top 5 of like defensive stats in Project Restart. So, yeah.
well, that's right. We obviously had the goal line technology incident against Sheffield United, which helped, but I'm not one of these ones that says that it was the be all and end all,
I
because
hate fans that say that.
it's because, yeah, I mean, we still had 8 games or something after that to save our season. So yeah, but there was some phenomenal results, beating Arsenal at home, even getting the point on the last day at West Ham, and just the way we did it. It's a great achievement. And like you said, I think Dean Smith, one of his major accomplishments was that work he did over the COVID break with the players. I don't know
Yeah.
what he did, but we lost 4-0 to Leicester and we looked like an absolute shambles at the back. And
Yeah.
then, 6 weeks later or whenever it was, when the season finally got back and up and running with Project Restart, we we turned it all around. Mings all of a sudden was huge. Consa, these guys, he came to the fore and look at what he's doing now. So
Yeah.
that was a huge moment for him, and one of his, definitely in his top 5, I think, most outstanding achievements since being a Villa manager in his 3 years. So we stay up on the last day, and then we make some good signings in the off season. Ollie Watkins, and we got Ross Barkley in as well on loan, who didn't turn out great, but started well.
Yeah.
Started great, and 4 or 5 games into that season, we were top of the league. We beat Liverpool 7-2, beat Arsenal 3-0 away. Had some massive results, and I think that was the year that we really took the starting 11 to the next level. Emi Martinez, of course, as well. Huge signing. What did you think about the changes that he did in that off season?
I was surprised by a few of the signings and like the amount we paid on some of them. I think Matty Cash 16 million looks like a bargain these days, but signing him, didn't know too much about him personally.
Yeah.
He scored in front of me when I was there when we were in the championship, and he looks like a decent player. But 16 million, I thought, geez, that's a little bit too much. But turns out to be a bargain. Martinez, I still can't believe Arsenal let him go for 12 million.
Yeah.
And they're like signing Ramsdale for 30. It looks silly on them now. Bertrand Traore as well.
Is he our best signing under Smith's, Martinez?
He'd have to be up there, wouldn't he?
I think so.
He has been. I've never felt so confident in a keeper, maybe since Brad Friedel, I'd say. So
and like you said, just the way we sort of managed to get it done as well. Taking a player from Arsenal and seeing what we could see in him that they couldn't see, obviously, and they thought, Leno was a better keeper, which if you look now, he's not even playing for them. And Martinez, Copa America winner, Argentina's number 1, had another outstanding international break, just gone.
He's so good. And like you could see that in Project Restart. I think Leno got injured and Martinez stepped in, and you could see he was a good keeper. And I thought, geez, this guy's a good keeper for a backup. And then now, we've got him and never looked back since.
Yep. And then last season we again, went through a pretty bad spell, which sort of lined up with Grealish being injured again. And the season sort of petered out a little bit. And we ended up finishing 11th, which, is still a massive achievement. Like from, staying up on the last day, finishing 11th, it's progress. We had some great victories. I think we improved our home form, which I think was maybe one of the things that was holding us back a little bit. What other things do you think, last season Smith progressed in?
We massively improved on the road. I mean, that probably has a lot to do with the no crowds, maybe. But
yeah,
I think we didn't. Did we win 2 games on the road the season before? Maybe Norwich and Burnley, and we hadn't kept a clean sheet on the road either. And then we're beating Arsenal 3-0. We're doing all these like incredible results on the road, which I never thought we'd be able to do.
Yeah.
So I think improving on the road form is a big thing.
Yeah. Definitely. I also think that like he's improving his in-game management as well. Probably more this season. But we went through a spell where things weren't going so well, and he changed it up a little bit and changed the system a couple of times to try and get something going. But we didn't really have a deep enough squad to make the sort of off the bench changes that we needed. But now he seems to be doing that a bit more. So that's good.
Yeah, the whole squad depth in itself is massive. I think Dean Smith actually put it like perfect. When he was talking about, I think he said the first season we came up, we had to build a squad like a team.
Yeah.
And then adding quality and now adding depth to the squad, and that's what we've done. You can see it in every position. Players are fighting for it, so it's really good.
All right, so let's break down Smith's management into 4 groups. I'll say his in-game management, his recruitment, and that's staff and players. His ambassador role as a Villa human being, as a person, as a representative of the club, and his relationship with the media and the way he portrays himself in the public eye. Now, I think across the board, he scores high on all those. Like, if I was going to give him a grade, like a school grade, I'd say his ambassador role is an A+.
100%.
That is like, because such a likable bloke. You met him yourself, Noah.
Yeah, amazing bloke. He was like really interested on, obviously me being from Australia and why I'm a Villa fan, and I've traveled so far, and was really, really like just wanted to know more about me as a Villa fan more than anything, and I'm like starstruck. I'm talking to the Aston Villa manager, but he was just, like I was having a coffee with him or a beer with him, like just a nice bloke.
Yep. So I think we both agree as he's got the club's best interests at heart. He's a good guy, and from that point of view, he's an A+, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, let's talk about how he's like with the media and in the public eye. I think
he's pretty good.
I think he's pretty good. I wouldn't say he's A+ level, because I think he can maybe big us up a bit more sometimes. Like, he does like to sort of, I guess, he's a quiet guy. He's not a star. He's not in terms of his personality, but he doesn't say, he's not a whinger either. He's not one of these guys that's going to like rail against referees and other players and start getting in spats with other coaches. So
he has a few times. He has a few times when it was warranted, but he doesn't do it every week like some managers do. So
yeah. I'll give him a B+ on that one, I think.
Yeah, I'd say around there, B+ or B as well. Yeah, for sure.
Excellent. All right, good. So recruitment.
I'm going on a different side of this. I think the first season and like the championship season weren't really his signings. I reckon Suso was mainly in control of them. And you compare the signings in the second season, the Prem to the first, players that have been in the Prem before or, in the championship with Watkins. So I think it's hard to rank him on that.
I think you can sort of, if you look back, you can tell the Suso signings and then you can tell the Smith signings, like someone like Ezri Konsa for £12 million from Brentford. What a signing. Like unbelievable signing. And again, his knowledge of the championship, Dean Smith, has been so handy for us. Matty Cash, Ollie Watkins, Emi Buendia, Konsa, as we've mentioned, Tyro Mings, who was at Bournemouth, but
played with us.
Played with us in the championship. Not all of them have worked. There's been Jotters. There's been
Danny Drinkwater.
Yeah, there's been a few shockers as well. Definitely. But I think overall he's done a really good job. And Emi Martinez, as we were talking about before, sums it up for me. Him, Konsa and Watkins, these kind of signings are absolutely massive. They were well thought out. They were well executed. And I think these players love Dean Smith like a father. Almost.
I agree.
You can tell that they've been chosen on character as well as on ability.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give him an A-.
Yeah, I'll probably give him an A- around there.
Yeah.
I'm touching on them liking him as a father figure. I think during Project Restart, when his father passed away, there was an interview with Jack Grealish, the man that we all love, and he kind of spoke about his father figure sort of feeling towards him and how much he respects him and stuff. And I think that's like with all the players. Obviously, you kind of see like the bond they've all got. So yeah.
No, it's a close knit club squad, and you can definitely get that feeling when you see. Just like little things like Tyrone Mings when Ollie Watkins scored his first goal for England, for example. Just little things I remember just thinking, wow, that's real love between them two, And I think as a club we've got a good social presence, and I think that comes from him as well. Like he stood up for taking the knee and all that sort of stuff. He's when Tyrone Mings was getting abused, he spoke well about that, Dean Smith. And like I said, I love him. I love him.
So do I.
Okay, we'll get to the last one, is the in-game management. Now, I think this is the one where I probably would give him the lowest mark out of the four.
Yeah, I'd say let's say we're going off this season and maybe the back of like last season as well, getting a little bit better.
Yeah.
But Stoney is still a little bit more improving, I think, especially with these substitutes. A bit late on them, but yeah.
Yeah, I think this season he's definitely stepped it up, like you said, like changing the system to the 3-5-2. The way he's let the midfield three sort of interchange and be a bit more fluid. The way he's gone for Leon Bailey against Everton earlier off the bench, where a lot of us used to criticize his late substitutions, that sort of thing. I still think there's improvement there to be had, and I still think there's certain games that have tight struggles where I feel like the best managers in the world have the ability to do something to just give you that spark. And whereas in previous seasons, Smith, I felt like when we were playing badly, we were going to lose 9 times out of 10. We weren't going to turn it around, but I'll give him a B-.
Yeah, I was probably leaning towards a B-, C+ sort of thing.
Yeah,
especially in the first season in the Prem.
Yeah,
we just were very one-dimensional, and even last season as well when Grealish was out, we didn't kind of have that plan B until this season. So off this season a lot higher, but just going off the total rain, I'd say.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think those scores are fair, and I think overall we love him. I mean, like if I was giving an overall score, it would be an A. It would, he's like compared to some of the trash that we've had. Like, think about it.
Roberto Di Matteo.
Remy Gard, Paul Lambert, whatever. We've had some shockers, and he identifies with the club. He's one of us. I think he would say himself, he's not the best manager in the Premier League, but he's learning, and he's certainly got his heart in the right place. And I think even bringing McPhee this year is
working wonders.
Yeah, that just shows his forward thinking and the way he's delegating a bit more. And he's willing to try a few sort of new fandangled sort of things, which is great. That's what we want. I think he is at heart a modern manager. He's not an old school manager. I do think he thinks about the game deeply. So what was your sort of sum up on him, if you want
to? Well, I love the style of football he plays. Personally, I mean, we've gone from boring Steve Bruce football to attacking brand of football, which is so exciting to watch live, especially in the championship. And I was telling you off podcast, my first two games is going to Villa Park with Birmingham 4-2 and Forest 5-5.
Yeah,
I could defend a little bit better in the Forest game, but Villa, especially in those games, like, we never felt like we were out of it. We always felt like we were in the game, like we would score more goals than this team, or at least be in it. Just the attacking brand of football I love.
Well, that's it. He's even in games where we sort of give up possession to the other team, like against the real big teams, we still have options on the pitch to score. It's never park the bus. And
no, exactly. Look at the United game.
Mm-hmm.
We're probably on the back foot. I don't think we had much of the ball, maybe, but we still won the game. We still had way more chance we could have scored. And that's the type of brand of football where I think if it was Steve Bruce, you might think we might have one attack a game or try get a draw from the get-go.
Yeah.
We go to these games and we're going to try win them every week.
No, that's it. And I think he's stuck to that mantra and that mentality, and that can get you a long way. If you're an attacking manager that has a sensible attacking manager, you will win games you're not supposed to win. You will you will sort of earn your luck a bit, I think, as a team like that. Whereas, a Steve Bruce type sort of hoofball, men behind the ball style. It's not going to work in a large sample size. It might work one off, against one of the better teams, but overall over the whole season, you're going to be in the bottom half, most of the time. So
look at Brentford. His assistant at Brentford is doing wonders there, probably playing a similar brand of football. They beat Arsenal. They're doing incredible. And they're playing a very similar brand of football to us. So, yes. I mean, if you do it sensibly, I don't see why you can't do it in the top flight.
And of course, Dean Smith needs a lot of credit for what's happened with Brentford, because he was the one that brought them to the championship and solidified them in the top half of the championship. They were a good championship side. I mean,
we never beat them.
We never beat them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, he deserves a lot of credit for his job there, and that's the reason he got the job for us. So, So to sum it up, just a bit of a quick video, with no Villa game this week. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Please let us know in the comments what scores you would give Dean Smith on his 3 years at Aston Villa, an overall score, or you can do it like we did and break it down into the 4 groups, whatever you like. Please let us know if you're enjoying the video. Like and subscribe. We will be back on the weekend for Wolves on Saturday, so we'll probably be doing the video Sunday. And please like and subscribe, and up the Villa. Thanks again, Noah. I'll catch you on the weekend.
Will do. See you, Scotty.
See you, mate. Catch ya.